I was going through my YouTube channel recently and I saw that in 2018 I made a video about trying to understand Bitcoin. I thought coming up 6 years later, I should make a very short video to talk about what are some ways that I was able to spot this trend, what's helped me to make money with this, and how it might be able to help you guys in the future. So it's coming in 4 parts, so bear with me. I'll try and go through them as quickly and effectively as possible. So the first one way that really helped me to understand Bitcoin is to consistently be critically thinking and challenging norms. Whenever I hear an idea that's controversial or interesting, or maybe a lot of people disagree with, that's when I really start to listen because there must be another side to the argument and I could be missing this. For example, this was Bitcoin. I remember first hearing about Bitcoin in 2013, just swept it under the rug. 5 years later, in 2017, I heard about Bitcoin again and I went, at $1,000, it was like $5 a little bit before this. So helpfully, I was able to go, what am I missing here? This is really helpful for me, and this has been a really great way of making money in the markets. A lot of the time, people go with one narrative, and the most money is made going against that narrative and continuing to push forward. So I'd ask you, whenever you're finding things in your life or you're looking at an investment, think about the opposite side of this. What might I be missing? What might I be thinking about the opposite perspective of someone else? Now, in terms of actually conceptually understanding Bitcoin, it can feel quite hard to understand. The main way of thinking about Bitcoin is thinking about its scarcity. Due to the loss of Bitcoin in people's wallets, there's only going to be around 17 million Bitcoins that will ever be on the market. Now, people might think this is a bit strange. How could something that is literally nothing be worth a value online? You got to think about it like a limited edition product or sneakers. If something is limited edition, people like it. When something is scarce, there's only one of something or there's only 100 of something, it is very, very valuable. Think the Mona Lisa, think limited edition cars from the 60s. These things are worth value because they're so scarce. So when thinking about Bitcoin, we need to think how scarce 17 million of something is. There's around 8 billion people in the world. So if there's only 17 million of something, it means a very, very, very small percent of people could ever actually own one Bitcoin. So even owning one Bitcoin or a tenth of a Bitcoin could put you in a really high percent of net worth. And think of it like this. Bitcoin is very scarce. It's almost like Manhattan real estate. It's really scarce. And firstly, there's limited supply in Manhattan of apartments and it's in demand. People will always want to own it. And markets will shift and move. But think about it over time, over 1, 5, 10 years. Is this going to go up or is it going to go down? And my bet is that since Bitcoin is so scarce and the US dollar is expanding every year, up multitudes, and US dollars lost half of its value since like 1993. My bet is that in 1, 5, 10 years, Bitcoin will continue to become more and more relevant in the financial markets. Now, lastly, a very loose analogy, but we live in a very noisy world. TikToks, Instagram Reels, trading back and forth, GameStop, going short, going long. There's a lot of different things that's vying for our attention. In the financial markets, though, majority of profits is made finding great positions and just sitting and waiting on them. I've been sitting in Bitcoin since 2017, and due to when I sold Bitcoin, I'm actually up over 20x, and I have no plans to sell. I don't care anymore. This is a long-term play. For me, it's binary. Bitcoin's either going to 100K plus or it's going to $0. So for me, it's actually useless to look at charts or technical analysis or day-to-day price swings because this is all going to be noise. Think about it like this. If you believe in something, the noise doesn't matter. And lastly, as I mentioned just then, people's biggest wins come from finding great value, holding it, and waiting for others to catch up or learn about this. High value real estate, people go, they buy it, they hold it for a long time, and if they've done all their due diligence and research, the price is going to go up. Think about it like Amazon. The best investors in Amazon outside Jeff Bezos were his parents. His parents bought a stake in Amazon, didn't care about the daily fluctuations, and it continued to rocket, and they still own a very, very large position. So once you've done some critical thinking, you've challenged the status quo, you've found something with value, then number two, you need to understand it. And when you conceptually understand something, the wind around you or the noise around you isn't going to distract you. And then lastly, once you've got your thesis, hold long, hold strong, and you'll continue to see really well. Hope this is helpful. Have a great day.